Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV 348, Sling, Roku, and Apple TV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
I spoke with the president last night after discussions with the rest of the national security team, and he directed that we begin a deliberate withdrawal of forces from northern Syria.
1,000 troops.
That's
How
correct.
long and over what time period will you be
Well,
pulling
it'll be a
back?
deliberate withdrawal, and we want to conduct it as safely and quickly as possible.
We now know, we believe, that the Turks now intend to go further south than originally expected and to go both west and east, which would increase their zone from beyond a 30-kilometer depth and nearly 440 kilometers wide.
I can think of nothing more disgusting in all the years I've been in Congress than what this president is allowing to happen with the Kurds.
We have pulled the rug out from under them. They're being slaughtered. There are war crimes being committed against them. And we're seeing ISIS fighters released from custody, just as we predicted would happen. And for the president to say, well, you know, they're just going to go to Europe. We're not going to have an ally left after this presidency. You can imagine how Europe feels about the President of the United States saying, well, we're not really concerned about foreign fighters going to Europe.
If we go to maximum pressure, which we have the right to do, at a moment's notice, the president calls me up and tells me, we will do this. We could shut down all U.S. dollar transactions with the entire government of Turkey.
Is that something you may do?
That is something we may do.
For God's sakes, what are they waiting for, right?
Seriously,
People are
dude.
being killed right now. And here you have Secretary Mnuchin saying, oh, well, we'll think about it. Maybe we'll do something. President Trump tweeting that he's going to destroy their economy. They look ridiculous.
I think the president was right in moving 50 soldiers out of the way of an onslaught of tens of thousands of Turkish troops.
We all know that if there were still those 30 or 40 soldiers in that part of Syria, that Turkey wouldn't attack. You hear the president and people like Rand Paul talk about endless wars all the time, and it's kitschy. But actually, we were preventing an endless war, and that actually commenced on Sunday.
The Kurds have been very good partners in the de-ISIS campaign. They were very good fighters on the battlefield. We obviously enabled that as well. But at the same time, we didn't sign up to fight the Turks on their behalf, and we've been very clear with them about that.
Is the president putting U.S. national security at risk?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, we all think so. Everybody thinks so. You know what this is? This is a gift to Russia. This is a gift. Russia has been fighting on the side of Bashar al-Assad in Syria for all these years. And this is, the president being tricked or being bested or losing a negotiation in a phone call with Erdogan last week and saying, we'll just step out of the way. You can go ahead and take Syria and give it to Putin. He wants it. Let him have it. And sacrificing, our allies to do it. This is disgusting. And I just want you to understand that the Kurds believe in American values. The Kurds believe in equal rights for women. The Kurds believe in freedom of speech. The Kurds believe in freedom of religion. They believe in local governance. They value education. They have a judicial system that is fair and transparent. And this, according to our military officers in the region, who also say the Kurds have an organizational skill that I have never seen before in the Middle East. He said, this is the first opportunity I've seen to actually achieve our end state objectives because we had a partner that very closely shares our American values, the officer said. We snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. A second army officer reacted with disbelief. He said, as Turkey attacked, I couldn't help but feel ashamed, number one, to have been part of it. And number two, that we, America, I believe, are violating our values. America, in my mind, is still the shining beacon on the hill, but we are not living up to that right now. He said, I haven't been able to get a hold of any of his, comrades who fought with the SDF. He doesn't know where they are or what they've, where they've gone. Today, we have reporting that the Kurds have entered into an agreement with Russia because they will be slaughtered if they don't kowtow to Russia, if they don't agree to throw in with Russia and Syria, Bashar al-Assad, then they will be absolutely slaughtered. Because the foreign fighters, the Arab militias that we saw last week fighting against the Kurds, fighting against our troops were fired on. You know that. The president said nothing, but the troops were fired on. He was asked about what are you going to say now that the Turks bombed our special forces?
Been bombed today. Our special forces were bombed by the Turks. Are we going to take sanctions against the Turks?
Well, we'll take a look at it.
We'll take a look at it. The Syrians have bombed U.S. Special Forces. The Syrians have bombed U.S. Special Forces. We'll take a look at it. We lost American lives. And then there was an ISIS attack where the suicide bomber killed 4 Americans. President says nothing about any of this. Nothing at all. Because somebody has something that the president either wants or wants concealed. And we don't know yet which it is. It could be a combination of both. But the president is obviously doing Russia's bidding. What Russia couldn't achieve, Russia is being able to achieve because the president of the United States ordered our soldiers to step aside and to just take it. And just take it. This is so sick. And now we're, listen, the troops are not out of Saudi. They're not out of Syria. They were moved to another base. Okay. So when he says we're out of there, we're not out of there. That's number one. Number two, these guys aren't coming home. They're being redeployed. Number three, we've had the Turks bomb our special forces. Oh, we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it. We had 4 Americans killed in a suicide bombing in Raqqa. Oh, well, let's not talk about that. And now we find out that the Turkish people, the Turkish army, isn't doing the regular fighting with regular forces. They're using Arab militias. Well, now we know who that is.
The Turks are now using militia elements, extremist militia elements, that we are told, as U.S. intelligence believes, includes former members of Al-Qaeda, and former members of Al-Qaeda.
ISIS.
Those forces are advancing. Yesterday, those forces themselves released a video some people might find disturbing, apparently executing a Kurdish man by the side of the road, celebrating, shouting Allahu Akbar, telling their colleagues to film them. We are told those kind of executions are continuing today.
Oh.
And then, in a very disturbing development, U.S. officials tell us that those same militias, the ones that include Al-Qaeda and ISIS members, have advanced even further in tracked vehicles. They are advancing close to U.S. forces. U.S. forces tell us that unless those forces withdraw immediately, they risk coming into contact with U.S. troops. U.S. troops say that their lines of communication, their actual supply lines between them and the Kurds, are at risk of being cut off. This is a very serious situation. It has turned a corner because of these extremist militias. Also, here on the ground, the situation is deteriorating rapidly. Kurdish officials tell us that one of these prison camps holding hundreds of family members of ISIS supporters has been broken into, and that the detainees inside have managed to escape.
Oh, God.
We just came from a prison and saw that every day now there are riots and attempts to escape at the prison where we are.
He has just destabilized the entire Middle East. The president of the United States did. Russia has, Assad has, and Iran has. This is mass chaos because the president of the United States wants to steal, and in chaos, I told you can steal. This is truly, truly disgusting. This is really, really vile.